Today on Taking Over Tottenham, we have our youth intake preview and then we take on managerless Chelsea in the Premier League. Can we pick up our first win on camera? Let's find out. Hello everyone and welcome back to episode number 6 of Taking Over Tottenham here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. If you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But we start off today's episode with our youth intake preview coming along very timely. Right before the start of this Chelsea game, you can see it's a little bit different to what it has looked like in previous years. Unfortunately, looks like it's going to be a below average intake according to our head of youth development and Dean Rustrick. Apparently, we're going to have two quite good strikers. That's going to be the strongest area of this intake with an A rating, decent centre midfielder and decent winger as well. The rest of the areas not looking too good as it just glitches out there a little bit. E's and F's for the rest of those areas and no wing backs at all, which to be fair, I think we've given up the ghost on wing backs since we tried the wide centre backs earlier in the series. Also having a look at the intake distribution, I'll just zoom in on that on centre screen so my head's not blocking it. You can also see the amount of players we've got coming through in each specific area from this youth intake, so that's quite a useful addition as well. I think the colours just based on numbers as our centre backs are not supposed to be rated highly. I've got an F and that's in yellow, so I think it just improves with the more players that you've got in the position, the colour of the number there. But we've got quite a few strikers coming through, a few midfielders, a few right midfielders. Hopefully they can also play attacking midfield. 2 centre-backs, otherwise a bit of a mix. Looking like it won't be much of a youth intake, but we might get a few good attacking players out of it, hopefully. But that's what the new youth intake preview does look like. Bit of an upgrade, I think, from FM21, so that is another plus going into this year's game. But it is time to catch you guys up on some highlights of the games that we have played since that absolutely nuts game in yesterday's episode against Aston Villa. If you missed it, I will leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. I highly suggest you check that out, but we'll get on to the highlights now. The first two were both in the Premier League, and first up it was a trip away to Watford, and we got off to a very good start in this game. Second minute, Joe Rodon from a Song corner to put us 1-0 up, and then just shy of half-time, it was Oliver Skip there at the far post getting another goal to make it 2-0 right on the brink of half-time. And then about 10 minutes into the second half, we completed the job. Renan Lodi with his first goal for the club since coming in on deadline day to make it 3-0. Pretty comfortable scoreline-wise. Performance-wise, not as comfortable as some of our more recent performances, but a very good result nonetheless to keep this nice run of form that we've had going since we went to the vertical tiki-taka. And then it was back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for a home game against Brentford, and we got off to a pretty rough start in this one. Brentford being awarded a pretty dodgy penalty at the 23-minute mark, but Ivan Toney just getting that past the outstretched hand of Lloris. Thought he might be able to save that, couldn't quite pull it off, and they made it 1-0 Brentford around the 24-minute mark. But then with 8 minutes before halftime, nice ball there for Son for Andrea Belotti to make it 1-1, and then 10 minutes into the second half from a throw in a good area of the pitch, Mora to Indom Ballet back for Lascelles, so he unleashes one into the top left corner. A wonderful goal, that one, to give us a 2-1 win, a game that we were much more dominant in, but it didn't quite show on the scoreline. Lascelles, so you can see there, did miss a penalty in the 65th minute, which would have really sealed things. So we had to manage the game a little bit throughout the last quarter of an hour or so, but we still got the job done, picking up another 3 points in the Premier League against a plucky Brentford outfit. And then we played our last Conference League group stage game away from home against Amanoia of Cyprus. Took us a while to break these guys down this time with a heavily rotated team, as you would expect in December. We really tried to give as many first team players a freshen up in this game, brought a few on late to try and make a difference, and luckily they did, because it took us until the 70-minute mark to get a breakthrough in this game. Lucas Moura with the corner, Davinson Sanchez getting his head on the end of that to put us eventually 1-0 up. And then with 5 minutes to go, Harry Kane off the bench. He's starting to get back into things off the back of his injury. Is back, limited to pretty restrictive football, but he made it 2-0, pretty close to full-time. Unfortunately here, Lo Celso with a shocking pass in defence, and they did get a goal back right on the 91-minute mark, and it was a little bit of a hairy finish because of that, but not too long after that, Lo Celso was making his way through, slots through Ryan Sessegnon. I think that's his first goal of the season to absolutely seal the result. 3-1 away from home against Omanoia to make sure that we do win all 6 of our Conference League group stage games. So what that means for the various tournaments that we're taking part in at the moment, Premier League wise, we are in 6th. We have made our way up to the European places. If we can pick up a win today against Chelsea, we will jump above Leeds and start to really put the pressure on Arsenal for that last Champions League spot around about the halfway mark of the season when we take those guys on in the North London derby. So we're in a pretty good position now in the Premier League thanks to those wins. And in terms of the Conference League, we won all our games. We went for our group very comfortably. And if we have a look at all groups, you can see who else made their way through. No major surprises in the top half of the draw, though. Roma only finishing second in their group's a bit of a surprise, as well as Sheriff not making their way out of that group, I suppose you could say, based on real life form. Make your way down. Basel and Malmo get out of Group C. Stade Rennais and Anderlecht Group D. Group E, Bodo Glimt and KA Ghent. Group F, it was Trabzonspor that went for ahead of us. The real surprise comes down in Group G, where Celtic failed to make it out of the Conference League group stage. That is a big shocker. I thought it was us, Roma, and them who are the teams that stood out in this competition. They have not even made it out of their group. So a bit of a shocker there for Celtic. Feyenoord and HJK going for ahead of them. And down in Group H, it is Victoria Pilsen and Cluj of Romania also going through. So we've got a little bit of a wait now until we re-enter the Conference League. I think we're waiting until about March, until the second knockout round, thanks to us topping that group. But we got the job done in our group very comfortably, using mostly our reserve players. But today, the focus is on Chelsea, and they find themselves in a very interesting situation in the save that we've got going on in the beta. If we go back to the Premier League table and have a look at Chelsea, you can see they are down in 12th, only on 19 points after playing 16 games. And if we have a look at them, they have sacked Thomas Tuchel very recently. Neil Bath is their caretaker manager at the moment. So this really should be, based on form and the fact that they don't have Tuchel, be a prime opportunity for us to get bragging rights over Chelsea in this derby. And if we have a look at their recent form as well, you can see they have really been struggling of late. Looking at the Champions League, not doing very well in that, as well as the Premier League. The last win came in the EFL Cup 4th round in late October against Salford, and either side of that, they weren't really in great touch either. Before that, their last win over decent opposition, no offence Salford, came against Manchester City in mid-October in the Premier League. But you look at that Champions League form, and indeed, Chelsea finished last in their Champions League group, so they are in tatters at the moment. The defending European champions, they will no longer be after that group stage that they had Juventus and Olympiacos going through out of that group, and Porto beating them home into the Europa League slot as well. So that is Chelsea's European football all done and dusted for this season, in a pretty rough spot in the Premier League as well. So they have a lot of work to do throughout the rest of the season. And as I said, it's a prime opportunity for us here at Tottenham to try and get some bragging rights over them in this London derby. So that covers off all the pre-match info. We will come back shortly from Stamford Bridge with the team sheets for this London derby. And we've got TV coverage for this game. In terms of Chelsea, they look extremely similar to how they line up in real life, and bench-wise as well. I don't think there's too many changes in that teams. In terms of us, Ramiro is on holiday, so Dyer comes in to accompany Rodon in central defence. Lo Celso in for Winks, still a little bit tired, and Harry Kane can only handle 45 minutes of football still. So on the bench, Andrea Bellotti, who did win Premier League Player of the Month last month, is still staying up front. But pretty strong team, and let's see if we can get a result here at the Bridge. 3 minutes gone here, and we have an early throw in our favour in the all-white today. The Lily White and Chelsea in the royal blue, and we make our way forward down the left-hand side here through a very informed Heung-min Son. Lo Celso puts a ball in, Thiago Silva to head it away, but we're looking to get on top of Chelsea nice and early and try and keep them deep in the mud. Emerson Royale far post, Son trying to get his head to that. It does pop out though to Renan Lodi, and here we try and keep a good sustained period of pressure here on Chelsea early, and it's Lucas Moura who sets up Heung-min Son, and after 5 minutes, it is Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0 at the Bridge, and hopefully today is the day that we win one of these on-camera games, because so far it's been draws or losses for us despite our good run of form in between episodes. Good ball from Lottie, Lucas Moura winning that far post header, which is a little bit surprising, and Son's there for a simple tap-in at the near post, and early on, 1-0 Tottenham. 17 minutes gone here, and it's a free kick to Chelsea. They pick out Thiago Silva. His shot comes off the post. It was about to fall to Pulisic. I think someone was offside there, though, but a good chance for Chelsea. Still 1-0 to Tottenham, though. 26 minutes gone. It's another highlight down in the Chelsea final third as they have a corner mount to put this in. And who else but Romelu Lukaku, only his 5th goal of the season, so I imagine he might have been injured for a little while. Otherwise, he's been struggling for form as well. I think it will definitely be injury-wise because he is a very good striker in this year's game. Good corner routine from Chelsea. Good little header there into the top right corner from Lukaku. And it's all square just shy of the half-hour mark. And about 6 minutes after that, Chelsea equaliser. They are in possession again here through Kai Havertz. Conte up to Sol, and they do look to knock things about in the back half of their field. But now they start to drive forward. Pulisic, ball over the top for Lukaku, just about one-on-one with the keeper, and that's a really good finish from Romelu Lukaku, and it looks like he's hitting form at the perfect time for this London derby, and all of a sudden, after a good start from us, Chelsea have got on top in these last 10 minutes, and Lukaku grabs the double and makes it 2-1. Good finish, not too much Lloris can do about that, and in short order, we go 2-1 down. 41 minutes gone here, and Chelsea will look to continue to pile the pressure on us here. Chilwell from the throw now into Pulisic. Havertz with a header just over the bar, going for that top right corner, and it does remain 2-1. And that is half-time. Really good start to that half, as you can tell by the XG graphs, but Chelsea really did get on top of us late in that half, grabbed 2 goals, and stats-wise, it's hard to argue with it looking at the overall stats, apart from possession, but you'd expect us to dominate possession with our vertical tiki-taka style. So we're definitely going to have to make some changes here at halftime. I think Harry Kane is going to come on for a struggling Andrea Belotti, and also Eric Dyer not playing too well. So Davinson Sanchez can come on for him. So 2 subs used at halftime. Hopefully give the boys a bit of a kick up the bum as we do trail Chelsea by a goal in a game that really, considering the situation both teams are in, we really should be winning. Up to the 64-minute mark here, and it is a corner to us. Davinson Sanchez flicks that far post. Ndombele has a shot block that looked harder to miss than to put in the back of the net, and somehow still 2-1 to Chelsea. And I think we are going to make our last substitution off the back of that chance to Ndombele. Emerson Royale down to a red heart. Matt Doherty on for him. Those are our 3 subs used. Hopefully we can pinch an equaliser in this game. Still down a goal with 18 minutes left. 76 minutes gone. It's a throw-in to Chelsea in a good area of the field for them, but they put it in deep and there's no one really there to try and claim it for them. So we do clear it, albeit straight to Reece James, and then he puts a ball in, which we deal with, but it goes back out to Conte and Reece James again. Rudiger, who does have a contract expiring at the end of this season, could be a potential free transfer target for us, as of course Romero does leave the club on loan at the end of the season, so it would be good to try and pick him up as Chelsea continue to knock the ball about in defence quite patiently here. It's a bit of a threatening highlight, this one, and Timo Werner gets in behind here, albeit we do shuffle him out to the corner, but Chilwell Mount puts a ball in. Kai Havertz as a shot comes off the bar, and a really good slide tackle after that from Matt Doherty to keep it away from the feet of Timo Werner, and with 10 minutes to go, still 2-1 to Chelsea. 85 minutes gone, a free kick to Chelsea. We've gone a little bit more high tempo, not too much, and also starting to play a little bit wider, but that free kick does go straight into the hands of Hugo Lloris, who's still being a little bit annoying in terms of trying to get him to sign a new contract, so he might be on the lookout for a new goalkeeper next season. But Harry Kane in the box tries to put a ball back in there for a fellow attacker. It does go straight to Saul, and now up to Lukaku. Good interception though. Davinson Sanchez, Lo Celso, Kane back to Ndombele. Oh, he's through there. Harry Kane off the bench gets another goal in a London derby. Harry Kane is back in the first team and scoring goals. You love to see it. And with 4 minutes left in this game, we might have a chance to try and pinch a win. Harry Kane getting slotted through nicely there from Ndombele. A bit of a 1-2 between those guys. They leave him far too open there do the Chelsea defence, and with 4 minutes to go, it is back at 2-2, albeit it looks like a very similar highlight this to what we were seeing against Aston Villa yesterday, straight from kickoff. Hopefully they don't score a goal like Leon Bailey did in one of the goals that was scored among the many in that game. And as Piliqueta makes his way down the left-hand side for Timo Werner, hopefully we can hold on to the 2-2 draw at least. Sal just outside the box as Piliqueta puts a ball in. Conte just gets to that before one of our players does, and they now get it out to Kai Havertz. Conte, as they look to build here, good interception from Højbjerg, and can we get something going? That's a good slide tackle there from one of the Chelsea players. Now Timo Werner, one-on-one with the keeper, really good save that though from Hugo Lloris. He's come up big for us there, and with only 2 minutes to go, it's still 2-2, all Desmonded here at Stamford Bridge. Rudiger with the header goes over the bar, and we will enter the last few minutes of this game up to the 92-minute mark, 93 minutes. We came back a lot more in the second half stats-wise than it was looking like at half-time, but we get a late goal there through Harry Kane and end up rescuing a 2-2 draw. So we can't win a game on camera for these live commentaries still, but a point away at Stamford Bridge. Not a terrible result, even though Chelsea are in the mud a little bit at the moment. Romelu Lukaku really was the difference maker for Chelsea today. And in the end, we have to settle for a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge. So looking at the Premier League table after that draw against Chelsea, an okay result considering where they are. Probably a game we should have been winning, but Romelu Lukaku finding some form did make that difficult. So we do hold our spot in 6th position. Unfortunately, can't go above Leeds, but do still have 2 games in hand on them, as well as Sunday's opposition in Arsenal. That is when we're going to be coming back for the next episode. If you're unaware, we don't usually do videos on Saturdays on this channel, so there will be no video coming out tomorrow. We'll be back on Sunday for the North London derby against Arsenal. It will be Boxing Day. By that stage, we'll have played a few more games. We have a Carabao Cup quarter-final against Manchester City right before that, and also some really tough games against Liverpool and Leicester. So a tough little patch now for us here in December before we hit that Arsenal game, and hopefully we can pick up a good win at home in the North London derby, and Leeds also in the European hunt off the back of that before we enter the transfer window. So tomorrow we'll also have a look at potential areas where we might look to improve the squad in this upcoming transfer window, and players who will be available to sign on a free, as well as with the transfer budget that we've got left here at Tottenham. Unless we sell players, we won't be able to do any business. So I think we're going to be targeting signings for the start of next season on free transfers. But that will do it for today's episode. Unfortunately, another draw on camera. Hopefully that changes on Sunday when we do take on Arsenal in the North London derby. If you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so yet and do enjoy what you see here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until Sunday for the North London derby against Arsenal, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.